So when we get finished with all these herbs that are in this garden, we'll have the blend of the 8 tastes. What are the 8 tastes? Yeah, that's it. Pungency, sweet, sour, bitter, salty. Umami is a kind of combination of a few. So I'm going to touch the plants and you yell out their names. So what's that one there?
Weed.
Oh, come on.
Wild herb.
It's the most incredible edible plant in the world. It's called fat hen. Fat hen grow 1/5 of Australia are covered in the same family as that. What is the family of plants that plant is related to?
Dandelion.
No, Chenopodiaceae. Often has that look. See that sort of silvery bluey look? Bushes have that look. And if you eat that raw, it's no good for you. But if you pick that and take it home and put it in boiling water for 5 minutes until it turns into a vivid green colour, throw a bit of salt in it, it's the greatest spinach you could ever feed your kids. So that's just number 1. Now what's number 2? This funny looking thing here. Now you would pull that out as a weed, I reckon, because it just grows so prolifically. And what's that one? Right? It's amaranth. Yeah, someone yelled it out. Amaranth. So amaranth, one of the amaranths, there's about 500 different types in the world, and amaranth is one of the great foods. You know, you buy it expensively at a health food shop. You know, if you want amaranth flour and all this sort of stuff, you know, it's expensive.
So what part do you eat?
Well, you eat the leaves, but you always got to cook them. See, now I'm going to pick a leaf, bang, and see this yoga. Like every move we make in the garden, we've got to be strong. You know? See this one? That's an amaranth too. It's one of the 500s. See that? It's even got little flowers. See that? So amaranth goes in. Now this is an amaranth. 500 different species in the world, and they're all edible, I reckon. Hard to believe, isn't it? So freedom. We just got to learn to identify these fabulous edibles. So we'll go around here and we'll start. What do we got here? How about we get a bit more fat in? Now when you pick a plant, you give it a little plunge, like pluck like that, and you pick it in such a way that it regrows and reshoots and maintains its cancer. It's good just to play with things. Now that also is an edible green that is a bit hard to identify here, but that's the Blackberry Nightshade. You all know that one? It's got black berries on it. See that? Blackberry Nightshade. Now that one there is traditionally cooked too. You never eat it raw because it's poisonous raw. See, these are poisonous raw. These 3 that I've got now, or 4. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. See? 2 sorts of amaranth, the fat hen, and the Blackberry Nightshade. So we got to put these in the pots until they turn vivid green, for just a few minutes, and then the poisons have been transported. But see, we'll see a better specimen of Blackberry Nightshade. Now, what we're doing is we're gradually getting onto the raw ones. Now, see this one here? This is a very strong tasting herb, and they call that Swine Crest, I think. I should know the detail, but that one there is edible, but it'll blow your mouth apart. If you throw that in your mouth, I'll just demonstrate.
Peppery, do you mean?
Huh?
In heat? Or?
Well, it's peppery and pungent, hot and strong. And you know that taste? The pungent, chili, turmeric, garlic, onions.
And what was it called again?
Swine Crest. You try that. And pungent is a hot, spicy, strong taste. And what's that do to a human? It makes you breathe deeply, you know. Drag that air in. It makes you move, you know, pungency. We got to have a bit of pungency in daily life. Yeah? Have you got that?
Like horseradish.
It's like horseradish. It's in the same family as horseradish. Okay? The tips of it, see that? See, this is a harvestable plant. And look at this syntropic farm. So here, you've got layers of vegetation, just like in a natural landscape. See how you've got a ground layer? Now look at this one here. This is our old mate called Honeyweed. See all the honeyweed? Now where's the raw Neil? We'll pick all this honeyweed up here. Yeah. Another closely related plant is called Good King Henry. Have you heard of that one? Hey, look at this one over here, everybody. Have a look at this. Now see how this is a particularly enriched part of the garden? So see how the very tasty little ones they call honeyweed. Look at how lush they are. And you hand them on to Neil. I'll get great handfuls of that stuff. We're going to get you satisfied with what we can harvest.
Is that
Yeah. See, and when you pick it so it regrows. This is in that brassica family, so this is a lepidium. And this is pretty good for you. People eat the leaves, but when we harvest in such a way we're not wrecking the plant. We're making it so that it'll just keep growing new leaves. You put a few leaves off today, more leaves tomorrow. And we're getting to see them, aren't we? Look at this. But look, there's a really important one here, everybody. What do they call this one?
Cobbler's pegs.
Cobbler's pegs is apparently the best plant we can eat. Comfrey is a good plant to have because look what it does. It shades the ground and it creates a beautiful soft edge to a garden. So if you put comfrey around a garden, it'll stop the grass re-invading that. In amongst the grasses they grow and on the edge of shrubbery, and that's what we've learned to do.
What do you use that for?
Comfrey, you make a tea, a very beautiful healing tea. It's quite a tasty tea. So what is in comfrey is this product called allantoin, and that's a cellular rejuvenator. And you read about that in Isabel Shippard's book. You know, there's about 8 pages written about comfrey.
This is the sweet one.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Really sweet, it's lovely.
Yeah, so that's a little thing with the star-like white flowers. You've seen it everywhere? Try that. Chickweed. Yeah, they call it chickweed for some reason. But we're trying to promote a new name for it, starweed. So it's just a star. Because it grows in winter, it dies out in summer. But because you see how in the shade of this huge forest of amaranth, the cool conditions are maintained, so you still get a little bit of persistence of chickweed. It loves cool, moist conditions. See that, chickweed?
Amaranth flower.
Yeah, you shake that and get the seeds when it's ready, when it's ripe. You know, they're flowering at the moment. Then it'll turn to seed, and then the seeds will drop. It'll come up everywhere, and then people could shake that into and cook up amaranth seeds. You know, you pop amaranth. The Incas, Aztecs used to do it, didn't they? Wasn't it a South American food? So see how we got a nice little cool. Like in this world we live in, there's hot, dry conditions, like in Africa, aloe vera conditions, and there's cool, moist conditions in Europe. So this is, because this is shady, see how the sun's up there? But this is shady, and look at these cool, moist conditions, promoting the growth of the beautiful, tasty, edible, sweet ones. And the chickweed. See all this chickweed? Chickweed is down here. There's not much of it because it dies off. Hey, have a look at this, everybody. What is it? Fat hen, yeah. Chenopodium album, they call it. Fat hen. So fat hen is here. So we want fat hen for our cook-up.
Standing there.
Are you okay? What happened?
Fat hen.
Fat hen. See, fat hen. The first one we talked about. So look at this one here, everybody. It's in the shade of the fat hen. What is it? It's a sweet one. It's called chickweed. So where we first started out, it wasn't that lush, but here, look how lush it is. Look how lush the dead nettle is. See all this dead nettle? There's so much of it. But over here, everybody, we've got the most incredible. I've even got to sit down on the job because, oh, look at this. And, oh, what do they call this? Chickweed. It's chickweed. You see how you can grow with chickweed? I'll show you. Gorgeous.
Am I getting the right one?
I'll have some. Chickweed. Now, hey, it's pretty clean, isn't it? See how you don't even have to wash it, do you, really?
Ah, it's beautiful, no chemicals.
Potato weed, chickweed. They're sweet.
John, what's the name of the one related to maca?
Lepidium, L-E-P-I-D-I-U-M. That's it. Okay, see, potato weed. Hey, but look at this, isn't it a nice combo? Sweet, sour. Where's the salty one? Somewhere. Savoury. Where's the savoury one?
The hen.
You hopefully that fat in savoury. We better go down and start cooking this up now. It's interesting, isn't it? So these common names, you've got to be a bit cautious about common names. But traditionally, this one's called chickweed for some reason, and that the botanical name is Stellaria media. Stellaria means star, you know, so we're calling it starweed. Now this one is potato weed or honeyweed, but some people do call this chickweed too because they feed it to their chicks.
Yeah, it's not like chickweed.
It's not like, see, it's tricky, isn't it?
No, it's
but they're not in the same family. This one with the star-like flowers is in a family that Caryophyllaceae, I think they call it. So it's a sort of an odd family. But this one is in the daisy family. See how it's a little miniature sun? It's there because it's lush. Now when we first tasted it, they weren't as lush as them. Remember that? So you got to pick the lush. Now see this? This one's coming into flower and seed. So you can eat seeds generally. That's that miniature sun, what do they call it? Slender celery. See that? Eat the buds, the flowers, the seeds, the stems. Why do we eat the stems, the buds, the flowers and seeds? Because of fibre. Fibre down in the intestines, it provides the food and the homes for beneficial bacteria in our intestines. You're getting lots of fibre. And we need it, apparently. Beneficial bugs in our intestines. They live on it and they feed off the fibre that we're eating. So you chew it up as best you can. Now this one here is a strong one, everybody. We haven't talked about this one too much. I think the first one we got was it, but here it is here. See the little fruits on it? And that's that swine crest.
Oh, there you are, Denise.
And it's tough.
Yay.
Swine crest. It's very, very pungent. So look at this, everybody. One beautiful plant of honeyweed or potato weed. Look at that one plant producing so much. I see how this has been eaten, everybody? Look at this. The birds have come and eaten that African lettuce. Because the birds eat it, it's good for us. Number one is sourness. What's it good for? The system within us? Immune system. Number two is sweetness. What's it good for? The intestines. Intestinal balance. You know, sweetness to feed those little beneficial bugs. Get that fibre in, all those sweet things with lots of fibre. You gorge it, the fibre goes down. Bitterness. Cobbler's pegs. Well, bitterness they say is good for hormonal balance. Look, this is just broadly speaking. Broadly.
When you're 50 plus.
Bitterness. Okay, but what about the heart? Saltiness for the heart. Yeah? What was the salty ones? Parsley, celery and seaweed. We got the slender celery, which is like a little parsley, miniature parsley. See that one? It's a wild one, but we could grow the parsley we love, and people do. So it's great, isn't it? So when you make a garden, you grow the ones that you know that have these 6 tastes. How many are up to? 4. Now the savoury taste of stinging nettle. We haven't seen it here. It would be good to see it. But stinging nettle's number 1 because it's got 15 of the minerals that humans need. You know how stinging nettle takes up a lot of good nutrients? Because it grows in really lush places, like around cow yards and things. So, yeah, stinging nettle plus that fat hen and other savoury plants like African lettuce is good for the brain and nervous tissue. Because the brain needs a lot of water, but it needs a lot of nutrients too. So the ones that are strong tasting, like the savoury ones, that's good for your brain and nervous. And we need to be aware of nervous, you get nigglies. Water? Water's really important. 80% of the brain is water. So water's the greatest nutrient of all. If we don't drink water, we're sort of done for. But water, but mix it with these lovely herbs. But the amazing thing is, a fleshy plant like that is about 80% water. How's that? So when you're eating the plant, you're getting the water. Because if you eat it fresh. So, we better go down and eat this. But see, I've got to transfer this raw stuff to Neil. Look at that. And now this is the cooked stuff. Bit more raw stuff there. Okay. Let's get down there. Start cooking. Now look at the chickweed here. Look at it shriveling up in the sunlight. See, chickweed's not going to last that long in this hot sun. And look at this. So we got the sweet one. We got the salty one. Oh, we got that sweet one. Oh, we got the mixed one, sour. So we got the sour, sweet, bitter, pungent, salty, savoury. And now we haven't quite found the slimy taste. Some people say it's a texture. So and then the poisons taste. We've pointed out the poisonous one, so that's the 8. Yeah, hey look, this is a really important one. We need to talk about that one. I think that is gotcha cola. So we all need to know gotcha cola, so thanks for pointing that one. The gotcha cola has that curl around. See that? It looks a bit like a kind of kidney or brain, whereas the native violet has more of a different shape. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
So, as our chef, but the worst was it was pointing in the direction
So next week you're on the phone about
Another client.
Yeah, well, the original.
Anyway, we got the fellow who owns it come over and said, oh, I've never had that to happen, you know. But this hasn't given me trouble. It was just that the
Notifications on things, even the gardens group, Facebook just keeps knocking things up. I'm part of a golden retriever meetup group, and we meet up.
We added it, and what we're doing is we're hoping we don't overcook it.
Oh yeah,
So it's just, you can add it to your snack if you'd like. Just add it and wrap it up. We talk about 8 tastes today. The poisonous taste of Euphorbia peplis, that petty spurge. It's good for pawpaw is good because if you have fruits with what we had as a meal, the grains and the leaves, it's not quite as digestible, but they say pawpaw can just about eat with anything. And it's got the digestive enzymes. And people are eating mature green pawpaw these days. You know, they're getting rid of cancer by... It'll expel excess protein from your body, and that includes the cancers. So that's why people are using, you know, people get cancer, they get pawpaw stems and leaves, they boil them up in water, they drink the tea. And that's another way of getting rid of the excess protein, which is cancer. So, sweet violet, look at that. We've hard to grow up here in lots of ways, but down south violets are very common. You know the common old violet? That's on the edible list, including the native violets. You know lots of native violets around here? So, little violets. You can eat the leaves and the flowers. It's supposed to be very good for you. Yeah. Well, wild celery. Celery does go wild, but we get that little slender celery. You know, that little tiny one.
Is it the same family?
Same family. Yeah, Appium. See, that's Appium leptophyllum, the one we saw up there. That's Appium graveolum. This has been cooked. Now, I just pulled out some dead nettle. And it's quite fibrous, and I just tasted it. And I slid the green leaves off it, but that'd be hard to eat, the fibrous stem. So it's a bit like artichokes. You know how you cook up an artichoke? And you kind of, you know, you do whatever you got to do to not get affected. So you can do that here too. Now, that fat hen, I'll just demonstrate with a bit of fat hen. See how sloppy it is? And it just goes. And you can pretty well eat all of it. But I'll pass that around, and just a tiny bit maybe. Now there is a bit of a mixture, but go for the big blob. Yeah, go for the big blob. It's all right, isn't it? Now there's a bit of a mixture in there of the Blackberry Nightshade. There's a tiny bit. There's mainly fat hen it is. Remember we saw quite a lot of fat hen? And that fat hen is the one that they say, you know, the kids say, what was that green stuff you gave me, Mum? And they say, oh, it was quite nice. They do actually eat it, the kids. And that's the big test, really. Yeah, yeah. Is it any good?
Bit of butter. Yeah.
It's all right, isn't it? Beautiful. It's just a bit of butter.
Bit of butter.
That's just like spinach.
Right, have a fair blob.
That's nice.
It's all right, isn't it?
That's good.
That's it. It's a good old fat hen. You know you can cook up a good meal out of the garden. And yeah, and wherever fat hen grows is a sign of good nutrition.